This is Dan of Vagabond Awake, the YouTube channel for vagabondbuddha.com. Today I'm going to show you videos of Mune, Vietnam as I discuss why it may be worth visiting, but it's not one of my favorite retire cheap in paradise locations. But no need to take notes. Everything I say is in writing. Just click the link in the notes below this YouTube video to get Mune, Vietnam cost of living, livability factors, best area, cheapest flights, things you must see, local life tour and beach bar walking tour, and life and food, plus our best retire cheap in paradise locations in the world. Again, this is my Mune, Vietnam retire early cheap guide. I left the USA in 2007 and began traveling the world. I had a plan in place to retire early and travel the world. Sometimes God laughs when you make plans. My assets and early retirement plans crashed with the world economy a few months later in 2007 after I left. I hoped things would recover quickly, but they did not. You see, I'm not old enough to collect my Social Security yet. Eventually, I had the idea to retire internationally in a paradise location with low cost of living, where the income stream from my present value of my portfolio would sustain a beautiful life even before my Social Security starts. So I spent a decade looking for my favorite retire cheap in paradise locations. I've been to 65 countries so far. There's a link here to the 50 reports detailing my favorite retire cheap in paradise locations all over the world. You can use my reports to find your retirement dreams on a budget, or learn how I continue to travel the world for less than it costs to stay home. We're presently on a retirement tour of Southeast Asia, including Malaysia, Thailand, Vietnam, and Cambodia. All of my retire for cheap reports are on Vagabond Buddha. The last 60 days we have been in Vietnam. Today we're talking about the beachside community of Mune, Vietnam. Okay, first, cost of living. There's a table here on the webpage that covers rents, 2 meals a day, and local transportation. And the cost of living here for someone frugal myself would range from a low for a backpacker type to a higher end for someone like me who's frugal but would want to live in a one-bedroom apartment. And the range is about $400 a month to $1,000 a month. For a full understanding of what it will cost you to live here, visit numbeo.com, link provided, and add any items you spend money on that are not on the table. There are web pages where people rent apartments in Mune by the month, ranging from about $700 to $2,500 a month, but those are tourist prices for people who stay for a month or so. Locals would be unwilling to pay these prices, and so should you if you decide to live here long term. If you decide to move here for a few months or years, walk your favorite neighborhoods and look for rental signs. If you're frugal like me, you'll be able to find a furnished one-bedroom apartment in the range of about $250 to $500 per month, depending on how Western a home you need. Your utilities, including internet, will be around $1,000 per month average. Never move anywhere until you've visited first personally to verify the living costs for your lifestyle and needs. I'm not guaranteeing these prices. These are just my notes and estimates from my time of my visit and this post. Your costs will vary depending on your lifestyle and the time since this post. Okay, Mune livability factors. Walkability, medium. In social media, including hotel booking websites, foreigners refer to Mune as a long beach, shown as a dotted line on the picture on the web page. However, Mune is a small community of about 25,000 people in the red circle area on the right side of the photo of the Google map. The locals understand this confusion, so they don't bother to correct people anymore. Most of the tourists hang out on an 11-kilometer beach they call Mune, shown as the dotted blue line, as I said. The tourist beach has about 100 resorts, restaurants, and shopping, and takes about 2 hours to walk, so it's not really walkable. But the circle on the right, which is actually Mune, and the circle on the left, which is Phan Thiet City, are both walkable. The tourist beach is where tourists relax, and the two cities are where locals live. The beach is not walkable, but the two circled cities are walkable. Just come look at the map on the webpage. Luckily, there's a cheap local bus that goes between the two cities, and the beaches between, the tourist beaches between those, so you can check out everything for cheap. If you're in the tourist beach area, just flag down the bus as it approaches and jump on. It's about 75 cents each way. Okay, internet. Hi. I have not had any issues with internet in Vietnam, including YouTube uploads, video streaming, or video calls over Skype or WhatsApp. Any limitations experienced have been when I've shared a router with too many people, like in a hotel. So if you've lived here, presumably you would have your own router, and that shouldn't be an issue. But I really haven't had much of an issue even in hotels. Okay, food, medium. Vietnamese food is healthy and inexpensive. Tourist food is overpriced, even if it's Vietnamese. You need to figure out where the locals are eating and eat there. We found an inexpensive place just across the street from where we were staying. It was delicious, clean, and cheap. 25K dong, or about $1.20 per meal. It's listed as our favorite restaurant in the restaurants list on the webpage. Okay, weather. Hi. The tourist season is from December through April, when the average temperature in Muni is 27 Celsius, which is, for you Fahrenheit lovers, is pretty comfortable at 81 Fahrenheit. The climate is hot and dry much of the year, which creates the sand dunes that tourists love to visit. Annually, highs range from about 70 Fahrenheit in December, which is 21 Celsius, to 81 Fahrenheit in March, which is 27 Celsius. Average lows at night range from about 52 Fahrenheit, which is 11 Celsius in January, to 63 Fahrenheit, which is 17 Celsius in June. The rainy season is April through October, when at least some rain falls during 18 or more days of the month. Things to do: low, unless you're really into fishing, kite surfing, windsurfing, or beach lounging, there really is not much to do here. It's more of a place to visit, to relax. Social considerations: medium. For Vietnamese speakers, the world is your oyster. Otherwise, you'll be limited to expat relationship here. Many Vietnamese have learned tourist level English over the years, but they're less likely to understand your slang and cultural nuances. Okay, expats, low. There's definitely an expat presence in Muni, but it doesn't seem as prolific or as organized as other places in Vietnam. There are about 2,000 members of a Facebook expat Muni link provided webpage. Still, this is a good place to go ask specific questions that this report does not answer, like where do I find sauerkraut in Muni? Okay, medical, low. You'll find medical care in Muni, but you may need to fly to Ho Chi Minh or Hanoi in some cases for specialists and for more advanced medical diagnostics. There's a fairly large general hospital with some advanced diagnostics and emergency medicine. Right-click the hospital link in your Chrome browser to translate the page into English. Okay, visa requirements. Hi. For Americans, Vietnam is the best place in Southeast Asia for visa conditions. Americans living here just do border runs once a year. Many other nationalities just do border runs every 3 months. Plus, the paperwork is almost non-existent and the fees are low. Facebook link provided. Okay, pollution. Medium. Phan Thiet is next door to Muni. Phan Thiet has a real-time air quality score today of moderate. This area in general is relatively new to the international tourist game and doesn't seem to be paying much attention to the ocean water quality game. I couldn't find any numbers on that. I did not find any data on the ocean water testing here. However, some urban runoff appears suspect. Further in the non-tourist areas, there seems to be quite a bit of rubbish on the beach. There's also quite a bit of fish byproducts thrown in the ocean in the commercial fishing areas. Okay, Muni desirability score. I would say low for retirement. This is more of a place to visit and relax for a few weeks or months than a place to retire or live for extended periods. You might rate Muni high if you're really into ocean fishing or wind sports such as kite surfing. If you're finding any value here, could you please like it, comment, or subscribe. Any of that would help our business grow faster. If you'd like to learn how to fire your boss and live in paradise for peanuts, grab a free copy of my ebook on the webpage, How to Fire Your Boss and Travel the World. If you buy anything using my links, flights, tours, or accommodations, you'll pay nothing extra, but we'll earn a small commission that helps us pay for our travel expenses. So please use our links. Okay, best area to stay in Muni. Since I'm suggesting Muni for a temporary beach visit, at best, I'm suggesting accommodations with that in mind. There's a hostel here that I'm suggesting where young partiers and kite surfers should stay if they can afford it. They also have private rooms there. Then there's a high-end place here that I would stay if money was burning a hole in my pocket and I wanted to white sand Instagram photos to make my friends jealous. Joe's Garden and Cafe. This is where I would stay if you have a few dollars in your pocket and you want to relax with Western food and music, but not really too expensive. Then there's where we stayed. Great price, great internet, nice people, cool dog, breakfast included, near everything, but no sand beach in front of the place. Walk east about 500 meters to find the beach. There's links to all these places again on the webpage. Muni, cheapest flights or buses. We almost always get our cheapest flights on Skyscanner. They have a web crawler that is constantly looking for the cheapest prices all over the world. As usual, we find the cheapest flights to Vietnam on Skyscanner. However, we took a sleeper bus from Dalat to Muni, which cost about $7. It took about 5 hours to get here from Dalat. Okay, Muni, Vietnam, things you must see. There are 4 things you must see in Muni. There's red sand dunes, white sand dunes. There's a fisherman village and ferry streams. The tour costs $5 and every hotel and tourist booth will sell it to you and they'll pick you up at your hotel. If the above video of us taking the tour looks fun, just come to the webpage and see it. Ask anyone in Muni, buy the tour, and go on the tour. Okay, next up there's a video of the Phan Thiet City, Vietnam local life tour. There's a video here, watch that. If it looks fun, grab the tour, grab the local bus and head east towards Phan Thiet and take the tour. The video looks fun, you can take this yourself. There's a Google Map walking tour and there's about 5 stops on it. There's a temple, an interesting temple, a huge whale skeleton. There's a local market. There's a museum of Ho Chi Minh and a school that Ho Chi Minh taught at before he went to Paris for his formal education. Next up is the Muni Beach Bar Walking Tour. This would be great if you're here on vacation and you just want to see all the cool beaches and places to drink and take nice pictures and just relax for the day. There's 5 stops on the tour, all within walking distance. Watch the video. If it looks fun, click the link and go on the tour. It's all on the webpage. Digital nomads in Muni life and food experiences. There's a video here of all the restaurants we ate at, so you can get an idea what the food looks like and what the prices are and which ones we recommend. We'd only recommend the ones that we either went back to or would have went back to if we had time. So don't waste your time on restaurants that are not delicious. Okay, Muni facts and history. Muni and nearby Phan Thiet were traditionally just fishing villages, making most of the income manufacturing a fish sauce to put on top of food. However, tourism is rapidly replacing the main source of income. Since the 1990s, hundreds of hotels have sprung up in the area as people have come to see the beaches here. Over the last 5 years, sand erosion has become an issue in Muni as the beaches are slowly disappearing. Tourists come to see the beaches that are remaining here and which are further east on the Long Beach, west. And the red and white sand dunes, the fishing villages, and the ferry streams, which I mentioned in our tour. Muni is also famous for winds that support the wind and kite surfers. Europeans and Russians visit in the winter months, and Australians visit in the summer months, both escaping their winter seasons. above and below the equator, respectively. Before being assimilated into the Vietnamese culture, the Cham people controlled this area from about 200 AD to 900 AD. And if you're interested, you can track down some archaeological sites. Okay, before moving to Paris in the early 20th century, Ho Chi Minh taught at a school in Van Thiet, which I mentioned, which is on our Van Thiet city local tour. You can go see that along with the temples, and it's interesting to see the local life, so that tour is recommended for that. Tomorrow we head to Ho Chi Minh. Subscribe to read our Retired Chief in Ho Chi Minh report. Subscribe so that when that comes up, you'll be able to see it. If you're interested in the subject of present moment awareness, my YouTube videos on that are now being posted at my Present with Vagabond Buddha YouTube channel, link provided. The older videos are on the Vagabond Buddha Presence playlists. Please subscribe to Vagabond Buddha or our YouTube channel to watch us move around the world, 65 countries so far. This is Dan of Vagabond Buddha. Thanks you for reading our Retire in Mune for Cheap guide. The world is your home. What time will you be home for dinner?